Good morning, Rotarians, and many, many guests.
Good morning, Ron.
It's great to see all these young faces so eager to be up here this morning. Well, maybe not. Before we start, I just wanted to let everybody know, some of you, most of you that have been around for more than 3 years would remember Brandon White. He was our AV guy for a whole year, I think, at least a half a year. He's just been named Collegiate All-American in track. He runs cross-country down at VMI. He's a junior this year, so just thought let you know that, because he was a lot of help to us with our technical stuff for a long time. The invocation this morning is by Kelly Brennan. Oh, it's fine day. Figure that out.
We'll bow our heads. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow, for food in the world where we may walk in hunger, for faith in the world where many walk in fear, for friends in the world where many walk alone. We give you thanks, O Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
To lead us in the pledge and the four-way test this morning, Art LaFountain.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Art. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
is it the truth?
Second,
is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth,
will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Art. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. To lead us in song this morning, Dick Pearsall.
Okay, Jim's got the things going, so we'll be singing Jingle Bell. It's on the screen, so. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the field we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Let's go! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, we should get more animated next time.
And now, our President-elect, David Basil.
Thanks, Ron. President Joe is in New Jersey, so I'm stepping in this morning. Good morning, fellow Rotarians and guests. Good morning, David. And now, Chris Barker, Club Secretary, will introduce some guests.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. We have a lot of people joining us today, and I would like to welcome the Hudson Service Learning Group. We have Lonnie Banner and Marty Bach and a few of their students. Thank you for joining us today. And then I would like to ask Dick Pearsall and his guest, Mike Swain, to come on up so we can have a brief introduction. Thank you.
I just want to say Mike is a prospective member and a friend, and I'm glad he's here as a guest.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chris. And today's 3-minute Rotarian is Brad Nelson.
Wake up, Brad.
Maybe one of the shortest 3-minute
Where did you go? 1 minute. That's good so far.
Well, Brad's 3 minutes is now down to 2, and he left the building. So we don't have a 3-minute Rotarian this morning. In his absence, we'll just marshal on, and we'll pick next week's 3-minute. Or next week is James Field, I'm sorry. Are you going to be here, James?
I will not be here next week. I have to go to visit the family.
Well, at least we know ahead of time, right? Okay. Oh! Your 3 minutes are now down to 1.5.
The winner is... Hey, good morning, everybody. Your roses are out front here. So this is going to be a fast 3 minutes. I'm going to lower the average of this 3-minute Rotarian. So my name is Brad Nelson. My story starts same as it did last time, September 26, 1955, in Columbus, Ohio at White Cross Hospital, predecessor to Riverside Methodist. It was there in Columbus that I spent all my Wonder Bread years, riding my Stingray bicycle back and forth to our municipal pools. I didn't have a Dairy Queen at the end of my street, but I had a nice swimming pool. So life in Columbus as an Upper Arlington Golden Bear was great. I had a great time. And then 1968 rolled around, and well, that was a bad year for all of us, actually, who were alive then. We lost Martin Luther King on April 4th in Memphis, Tennessee, if I remember. And 2 months later, on June 6th, in Los Angeles, we lost Robert Francis Kennedy. But I had to peel off my Upper Arlington Golden Bear gear when my father took a job in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I had to put on Indian Hill Braves gear at that time. So it was a wonderful time there in Cincinnati. I graduated from high school there and went off to, followed my older sister to Camp OU, sometimes known as Harvard on the Hocking, and spent a year there, and that was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of great rocks and decided that geology was where I wanted to spend my time. But since I went to Europe that summer and traveled extensively and never came back in time to go back to OU, I matriculated at University of Cincinnati, and they also had a great, wonderful program in geology, and a lot of great rocks down there. In fact, Cincinnati is the type section for the Cincinnatian series of the Upper Ore Division. So it's the type section for all the rocks of that particular geologic time frame in the world. So if you're ever in Cincinnati, northern Kentucky, pull off the side of the road and look for fossils, because you'll find them all over the place. So graduating there, high school and college in '78, after spending the summer in South Dakota and Wyoming at field camp with Kent State University, I went on to spend some time in the Gulf Coast on drilling rigs and as a mud logger, and drove tractor trailer rigs around the country for a couple of years, traveled extensively throughout Europe, Northern Africa, Iceland, Mexico. Then I decided, well, maybe it's time to go back and get my master's degree at Kent, which is what I did. A lot of the professors that I met at field camp welcomed me, and went back to school for my master's in petroleum geology at Kent, graduated in '83, and went on to spend the rest of my illustrious career in the oil patch in the Appalachian Basin. So I owe my allegiance to Rotary Club, to my very good friend Kelly Brennan, whom I spoke to on numerous occasions about the club, and he sponsored me, so I've been a member here for, what? So blame Kelly. So I've had a great time here doing community services and being in charge of Bob's Bikes here. From the very moment I tried to earn my blue badge, at a board meeting was I handed the books of Bob's Bikes by a former member. And I'm proud to say that a couple of weeks ago, did we receive as a club about 35 bikes from the evidence storage locker of the Hudson Police. So they have a certain protocol that they have to go through, and it's oftentimes years before we end up getting some bikes from them. But we have 35 new, or somewhat new bikes, new to us, I'll say. And this evening, we're going to be delivering 12 bikes to Family Promise, which is an organization that is looking forward to receiving 12 bikes this evening at 5 o'clock from our club. So that's great. I have 3 children. My oldest is Christine Marie. She's finished at University of Akron in her elementary education degree, and presently she is halfway through a year-long program in Greenville, South Carolina, where she is learning the ways and the means and the methods of Anna Maria Montessori. She has a passion for that, and that's the direction she wishes to take. My middle child, Brent, he is living the high life over there, literally the high life in Keystone, Colorado, working at slave wages for Vail Resorts, but as a ski instructor. But he's a graduate of Kent State in archaeology, anthropology, and history. So 2 down, 1 to go. My youngest is Bryce, who's a junior at Hudson, and upon his completion next year, I'll have 3 members of the 13-year club here. So I guess with that, that's my 3 minutes. Thank you very much. No questions. Oh, there you go. There we go.
That was you, right? There you go.
Thanks, Brad, and thanks for your leadership on the charge for Bob's Bikes. That's one of the club's really important and worthwhile service efforts.
I had to ad-lib, Jordy.
And since James is not going to be here next week, we'll pick for next week Ed Sogan. Will you be here?
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you do the 3-minute Rotarian?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. And on January 6th, Sean Tucker. I don't think Sean's here. How about Rich Warfield on January 6th?
Oh, yeah. See his bag of hats again.
I want to see his bag of hats. Dave,
Rich.
Yeah, I'll be.
Okay. Oh, you can do January 6th, James? You can do January 6th? Okay, we'll put James on for January 6th then. You're off the hook for now, Rich. Now you know who your friends are, Rich. Okay. Next up, fall fundraiser update. Tom Page.
The roses are here. Yeah. Anyway, after the meeting, if you haven't already picked up your stuff, meet us out there in the hallway and we'll get you all squared away. I have to tell you, it's been kind of nip and tuck, but hey, I guarantee you we got 2 more scholarships for next year for Hudson High School, and plus some. Maybe almost pushing $6,000. So thank you very much. I know I was a pest. I don't mind you calling me that. We're doing it for the kids. And anyhow, thank you very much. See me out in the hallway when we're done here.
Thanks, Tom.
Larry over here likes money. Some of you still owe him. If you've got it with you today, give it to him, okay?
Thanks, Tom, and thanks, Larry, for the leadership on the fall fundraiser. Again, another one of the club's premier and very worthwhile service projects. Next up, Lonnie Banner and service learning students.
morning, everyone. Good morning. So happy to see you. Happy holidays. I hope you take some time to take care of you and your families over the next couple of weeks. This morning, I've got two fantastic students here to talk to you about their service experiences and their college plans. But I also want to thank you for all of your help and feedback and guidance on our Random Act of Kindness research project. Thank you so much for your insight and for giving our service learning family an opportunity to engage in some meaningful public speaking. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And first up, we have Ariel, who's going to tell you a little bit about her work at Calico Head Start. So Ariel, you're up, darling.
Hi, I'm Ariel. I'm here just talking about my Head Start, and I have a big passion for working with kids. And at my Head Start, it's for kids who are 3 to 5 living under poverty. And all of the kids are at different levels, like at their at-home life and at their education level. Some of them have a single parent at home. Some of them come from another country. Some of them have a parent that's in prison. So they're all at different levels, and you just have to meet them where they're at. And one of the kids who's definitely impacted me a lot while I was at my Head Start is this little boy named Donald, and he actually has a single dad. And he's just the sweetest kid that I've ever met. He's always like the first one to go over to a kid if they're crying and try to figure out what's wrong. And he's always there to, like, if someone falls on the playground, he's trying to help them up and inviting them over to come play with him. But he's 4 years old, and he's just very mature for his age level. And then there's another kid named Israel who is 3 years old, and he's a little bit behind for his age group. And I always, whenever I'm at site, will work with him one-on-one. And sometimes like it'll be like with books, and I'll be helping him read a book or just like help guiding him through the hallway, holding his hand. And one day one of my teachers in my classroom wasn't there, so the other teacher needed me to help more with the overall class. And I noticed that since I couldn't help Israel as much, the one who's a little bit behind for his age group, Donald was just over there like guiding him, holding his hand, walking him through the hallway, or he was over with him with a book and just trying to be that helper. And I just think it's so cool to see someone as young as 4 years old so giving and like willing to help out on his own. So that's something that just really impacted me at my site. But for the most part at my site, I just help the teachers like as an aide, and I just play with the kids and give them attention. And probably the biggest lesson I've learned at my site is having patience, because when you're working with 16 3 to 5 year olds, they are all competing for your attention, and it's hard to like make sure you give each one of them individual attention, because it's important that they know what they have to say matters. And like there's been cases where I've had like one girl, she's asked me my mom and dad's name at least 3 times every single time I'm there, and I tell her every single time, even though she's asked me like 5 minutes ago. And then there's another kid, Quentin, who he has told me his Christmas list since before Halloween in October, and he's told me every single day he wants a Paw Patrol rescue van and a Hot Wheels garage with a ramp. So hopefully he'll be getting that for Christmas, because he's been talking about it for months. But I just learned that you definitely have to be patient, and if you take the time to give them that individual attention, it just brightens their day, and they love just having that attention on them for even if it's just 5 minutes. But that's something that I'm definitely going to carry in the future when I go to college. I'm not looking to be into like education or anything like that, but I do want to study physical therapy and rehabilitation, and that's something that you definitely need patience for, because the healing process can be really slow. So I'm hoping to carry just that patience I've learned at my site in the future with me with that career. So that's something I'm definitely going to carry from high school in the future. But the Head Start has just been a great experience for me. The kids can brighten my day within like seconds. Like every single time I'm there, I'll get showered with compliments by all of them, like, "Oh, Miss Ariel, I love your hair," or "Miss Ariel, I love you," and like they just always give me hugs, and it's just such like a positive time to be there, and so rewarding just to see how much just a little bit of time can brighten their day. Yeah.
And our second student is Anthony.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Donatelli, and my site, I actually have it a lot easier. I'm at Eastwoods, and right here in Hudson, and over there, all the kids are just well behaved and everything. So it makes my job a lot easier. So I know, so with everyone being so good, I actually help a girl who has cerebral palsy. And if any of you don't know what that is, it is just like the muscles are very tight, and it's usually from like premature birth or something like that. And so she has trouble writing, kind of like she's very slow in class, so I help her out. I write for her, I scribe. And when everyone else goes out at recess, I stay in and I strap her onto a bike and we just roll around the whole school. And it is very fun because she likes to book it and cruise it like as fast as she can down the hallways. So that's really fun. And also this girl, one of like the first days I got there, one of the first things she said to me was like, just because I have a disability and I look different than all the other kids, don't treat me like I have like a special need. I want you to treat me like any other kid. I said, okay. And she's a very strong person. I mean, I get the business every day from like what I'm wearing or anything, if like my shirt looks funny. And she's like really fun to be around. So when I take her on these rides around the school, we always get up to these like inclines in the school, just like little ramps. And we'll sit there for like 10 minutes having her like try to make it up, and then she'll go back down. And I'll just be like motivating her to get all the way up, and it works, and she's doing a great job just by herself, doing it for herself and not needing any help. And it's very good for her. And talking about how strong she is, she just got a Botox injections in her legs to loosen up muscles, and it ended up the doctor put a little too much Botox in, and so she was very stiff. She was missing a ton of school, and so when she got back, she was very behind in work, and wanting to go out at recess with her friends, she wasn't able to do that. So she was very upset, and like it's not all there with her home life. So I'm there as a person to talk to, and if she's having a bad day, I mean, I've heard teachers tell me I can turn it around. It's nuts how like I can get her to do her work. So I mean, that little relationship I've built is just amazing. And throughout this process at Eastwoods, I've learned that whatever you're gonna do in life, I mean, for college students going to college, not knowing what you want to major in, whatever you want to do it with a passion and what you are just flat out love. Just like with teachers in general, there's just, it's so like fun to watch them like work with these kids in class. They just smile, they crack jokes, and they just interact with each other so well. And you can tell that they just love their job. And I can say that going into this year, I wasn't really sure of what I was gonna major in or like look forward to doing. I've always thought of business because my dad's a businessman, and I mean, he looks like very successful. And I'm like, all right, so let's do something in like the business field. And just throughout like working with this girl named Hannah at my school, it's just so fun to work with her and like kind of act like Ariel said, like the physical therapy. It's crazy because I totally took like a 180 turn of like what I wanted to do. And I mean, I have aunt and uncles that are in the medical field, and I mean, through the football season, I've been banged up, and just like learning about your body and like how this works and that works and like all the ligaments. It's very interesting to me, and it sticks out a lot more than like the business aspect does. And so throughout this whole process, I've learned that wherever you want to do, just do it with a passion. And I mean, I can tell you one thing, that my mind has been altered into this like somewhat medical field with what I'm like very interested in. So it's been very, very crazy. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, have a great holiday.
Thanks, Lonnie. As always, very interesting to hear from the service learning students. Quick 5-second announcement from Gail.
Yes, 5 seconds. Good morning, Rotarians. This is our last week of the Random Act of Kindness project with Lonnie and the Service Learning class, and President Joe was scheduled to be there tomorrow. He is detained in New Jersey. I need help at the 11:30 and 12 o'clock slot. Will you take them both?
I sent you an email saying I'd do it.
Oh, well, Jay, all right. Thank you. 5 seconds.
As always, true to your word, Gail. Craig Tallman.
Well, that was quick and easy. Good morning, Rotarians. Wanted to give all of you a couple insights on the foundation in terms of, where we're at and a couple of opportunities we have right before us before the end of the year. I think that we can help our cause as well. We all know that we work hard throughout the year, and there's certain leadership in this group that does an exceptional job of raising funds for our organization so that we can be generous to our communities that we live in and help the various causes in our communities to be successful with their endeavors. And, as times go by, those challenges that face us continue to mount as well. As you may recall what I said earlier in the year, we did not increase our budget for giving this year. We are continuing to look at new ideas for ways to complement the club's efforts in total to raise funds for our foundation. To give you another thought on this, if you look at our permanent fund right now, we're sitting, give or take a few bucks, about $130,000. And we've been there now for, several months. Fiscal 2014, we were able to contribute $8,000 towards that permanent fund. We were not able to do so in fiscal 2015 because of other needs we had to support. So I want to, just throw two ideas on the table for everybody's thinking about and planning for the future. We've got 15 days left in the year. And I've got a form here that I would share with all of you that would allow us to contribute to our annual fund in any amount. And I think we've got to, certainly look at our opportunities to, diversify our efforts to improve our permanent fund. And I suggest that a contribution to our annual fund certainly would allow us to move in that direction. Recall what I said on my birthday, Ed. We talked about a birthday wish, and I challenged ourselves to contribute to our annual fund, and I started that initiative with a $100 contribution at that point in time. So not too many takers yet, but there's still time left in the year, and you will get a letter at the end of the year recognizing your donation as a tax-deductible item. The last thing I want to suggest is Phil Warburton has been doing some legal work around legacy gifting. And when Phil gets back in the spring, we'll be introducing that concept to the entire club for future planning. And it's something that a lot of organizations like our foundation have as a means for improving the endowment and so forth that we have. That $130,000, if you look at our budget of about $33,000 a year in gifting, for an endowment to throw off that kind of cash, we'd have to be around $650,000 to $700,000 in our endowment just to support a 5% return that would support that budget. Not that we're ever going to do that, but that's really the kind of numbers you're looking at if you were to do that as a trade-off for gala fundraising or other activities we do throughout the year. So my thesis is we can meet halfway in the future. We can get halfway there in time and relieve the stress off some of the things we're doing and or improve our abilities to give back to our community. So I'll leave that thought with you. Thank you for your time in this regard, and happy holidays to all of you and your families. Thank you. And by the way, I will have these forms right out here by your name tag rack as you leave.
Thanks, Craig. Great work again with the foundation. Very important work on behalf of the club. And next up, and I know this is going to cost me $1, but the man with the Christmas tie and the Christmas socks for Fine Day, Ed Sogan.
I think we're getting on holiday overload, so I'm not going to have this particular Fine Day about the Christmas or Santa, but I did want to kind of get things going here a little bit. Okay. All right. We have our lovely assistants, Rich. And where's Chris? Chris over here will be collecting fines. We have a few dollars to start off. All right, for our guests, this is very serious business, so we want to get to it right away. We have a great number of student athletes here with us, so no pins and no badges. So Rich and Chris, if you could look around, I think we have some people here that if you could raise your hand and make a $1 donation, that would be greatly appreciated. This morning, many of you heard the beautiful music coming from the piano. Phil Tobin was behind the piano, and if you didn't know, it's a player piano, so Phil, that's $2 for you. That's falsification of your musical skills. Not much in the hub, but as usual, we have pictures of two of our members in every issues and multiple pictures of Rich Warfield. So Rich, that's $2 for you and $1 for Gail in regards to your excessive advertising in the Hudson Hub. Let's see. Oh, Rich Warfield, I'm sorry to pick on you here, but you're collecting fines. I know you're doing a great job. But Julia's here, Goodson, outstanding member of the girls golf team and a future member of Kent State University's team. Rich belongs to Lake Forest and has taken credit as a mentor. Has he worked with you at all, ever? $2, Rich, for you. Okay? Holy cow. All right. Many thanks to those people, again, that helped out. I think we had close to 30 people help us with Sand on the Green. It was a great event. Again, we were able to accommodate almost 130 families in the 6 hours that we had. Mr. and Mrs. Claus were fantastic, riding in on the fire engine, and we were nonstop. It was a beautiful day, and everything went great. I do have some awards, so we will be giving candy canes out to several of our members that helped in over and above the call of duty. We're looking at Donna Kastner, and unfortunately she's not here, but she took a double shift on the greeting line, and that's keeping track of the numbers. I know Ron was doing it, did a great job. Donna did it for two shifts, so for 4 hours. She was handling keeping the line moving, etc., and a couple of complaints because people still don't realize that they need to get a ticket. But at the end of the event, we were able to accommodate quite a few people that came late that weren't able to get tickets, so we were able to go nonstop again on that. Lynn Zupp, where's Lynn? Not getting injured. Outstanding job this year. Last year she was wounded in action. She was out of commission there for a while. Dick Pearsall, best dressed. Dick shows up. I mean, he is always nattily attired. He was always looking really great. Joe Boyle's not here, but he was like the photography guy. Everybody gave him their cell phones. He was taking pictures of the families, etc. But the only problem with that was he was taking a lot of selfies, too. So these poor people got pictures of Father Joe, and that's not exactly what you want. Let's see. I think we will give Ron Strobel an award because he had the most hot chocolate consumed. In a 2-hour shift, he had 13 and a half cups of hot chocolate. I kept track of that. And the last candy cane and a fine goes to Bill Woldridge. $2 fine. Bill was passing out candy canes, and he had stickers on them that said, "Vote for Woldridge, City Council." That's, again, not exactly what we want to have happening at our thing. Got a couple things that happened last Christmas, and I want to reiterate this. I saw Bob Cramp walk in, and I had talked to Sue a little bit. Bob's a procrastinator, and he was in charge of the turkey last year. And unfortunately, you're supposed to get these things early in the week. They're frozen. You got to thaw them out. Bob didn't realize that. So, he's running around on the day before Christmas Eve, and they have a big Christmas dinner. He's looking for a turkey at Heinen's, and they're all picked over. I mean, there were, very small turkeys. Not exactly what he was looking for. There was a large gathering coming over. He knew Sue would be furious. So lo and behold, he sees the king of Heinen's James Field, over by the butcher shop there, and he calls him over. And he said, James, geez Louise, do these things get any bigger? And James looks at him and said, they're dead. $2 fine for you, sir. All right, we've got a little lightning round here. We have candy canes for the right answer. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer these questions. Why does Santa go down the chimney on Christmas Eve? 5 seconds. Because it suits him. Get it? Suit, okay? All right. I already gave my $5, so I'm done. What do you call that? An elf that sings? These guys should know. A rapper. Oh, gosh, come on. Oh, come on, we have candy canes to pass out here, fellas. Let's go. Girls, let's get into this. What do you get when you eat Christmas decorations? Tinselitis. Oh, jeez, come on. Oh, man. These are like common things. Everybody knows this. What's a snowman's favorite Mexican meal? A burrito. A burrito. Get it? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, geez. What does, and we have an elementary teacher here, she'll know this one. What does Santa's elves learn in school? Alphabet. Hey, we got a winner! Finally, holy cow.
And you're scaring Coach Wright. He's wondering if this is what happens to former football coaches.
This is what we're reduced to. This is what happens when you retire. Okay, that's, yeah. No mouthpiece and a leather helmet will do that to you. What do you call Santa when he stops moving? Santa Paws. Oh, gosh, I tell you. Too early in the morning for you guys. What did Adam say on the day before Christmas? Christmas Eve. Oh, geez, Liz. There's a limit of one candy cane. Jeez Louise. What do you get if Santa goes down the chimney when the fire is lit? Crisp Kringle. Oh, God, okay. All right, well, speaking of Coach Wright, last year, here's another thing. Again, another procrastinator. You know, he's a big-time guy. He's very, very frugal, though. A lot of people don't realize it. I think the players do, to the point of, well, anyway, he's got a reputation. Coach Wright was looking for a last-minute gift for his wife, Pam, correct? Correct. And again, this is the day before Christmas. He runs over to Macy's, and he's looking at the perfume section, and he said, I want something really nice for my wife, and the lady brings out a 12-ounce bottle of this fabulous perfume. It's $250, and I mean, he just about knocked him over. He said, no, he says, it's a little bit too much. 6-ounce bottle was $100. No, a little bit too much. Brings out another brand, $50. He finally says, you know, he says, I'm looking for something really cheap. And she handed him a mirror. Ooh, okay. Rotary anniversaries. John Harrison, I think he's out there helping with the roses. It's 1 year. Remember, we were talking about this is $1 per year. Jim Ahern, 5 years. Jim, just $1. And David Basil, 6 years. Okay. All right, real quick switch here. My bag. Our birthday boy. This year we only have, this month, only one birthday, and it's Jim Hackney, December 13th. He already had it, but do we have a birthday wish, Jim?
Dan Rich.
And Dan Rich.
Well, it's not on the thing. It's not on our website. It can't be true, Den.
And Ron Strobel.
You got to be kidding.
No, I don't think
Well, whoever our webmasters, Dick Pearsall? All right, okay, James. You got to kick in a couple bucks here, too. Make your wish come true.
Okay. I heard if you tell your wish, it won't come true.
Okay, that was kind of a weenie answer there. Den Rich.
Another $1. I am grateful that my birthday is not on your records.
Okay, thank you. All right, that'll cost you a couple bucks, though. All right, Ron?
Ron, here you go.
I'm going to
I'm going to take the lead of our friend, Mr. Coleman, and I will donate to the foundation.
Fantastic. Very good. And Dick Pearsall.
I want to give $10 because I want to ride in Phil Tobin's Buick.
All right.
1941 Buick.
1941 Buick. That'll account for like a half a gallon of gas on that little bugger. Okay, that ends fine day. Thank goodness. And now, should I go right to our speakers? All right. We are blessed. And somebody had asked again, what's the reason for the success, all the success? And I had said that, again, it was the previous football coach, one of the previous football coaches and athletic directors. And Rich Warfield said, yes, it was Buck Heiser at Ed Sogan. We're going to start off with girls golf. We have head coach Doug Schilling and, again, Julia Goodson in regards to their team. If they could please come up.
Good work, guys.
Morning. We thank Ed Sogan very much for inviting us here this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about our 2015 season. Coming off our 2014 season, we did not know what to expect. We had a great year beating our main rivals, Medina and Solon, and we won the NOC division title the last year that we were in it. We knew we were losing 3 terrific senior players who typically scored in the 2, 3, and 4 position. What we didn't know was that our number 6 varsity player and our 2 top JV players decided not to play golf in their senior year. That was both disappointing and frustrating. Here we had worked with the girls for 3 years and they decided not to come out, and we had high hopes for them. When tryouts concluded, we had 2 returning varsity seniors, 2 juniors who played JV, and 2 incoming freshmen. What was also unknown to us was the new Suburban League opponents. We knew about a couple of the players, but we didn't know the strengths of the various teams. In high school golf, we play 6 and score 4 in our conference matches and tournaments. And in our postseason tournaments, we play 5 and score 4. In spite of that turnover, we had 3 goals for the year. Challenging goals. One was to be undefeated in match play. The other one was to win the Suburban League Conference. And the third one was to advance to the district tournament as a team. Our league competition started out with the Suburban League preseason tournament at Barberton Brookside. We came in second there and dug a little bit of a hole for ourselves. We learned quickly that our main competitors were Wadsworth and Brecksville. Our 9-hole matches began with some of the easier teams, so just about all the way through the season we were undefeated and we were 5-0, and then the last week we had to face our 2 main rivals, Wadsworth and Brecksville. I still remember that Monday because we did not play very well. We shot a 188 and so did they. And what that left us with was the 5th player tiebreaker, and we won that by 1 stroke. It was one of those. Wednesday was a lot easier. We shot a 171. Brecksville shot a 177. So we finished the year undefeated and made that 1 goal, and that left the postseason tournament. One thing I didn't tell the girls was that all we needed to do was to come in 3rd place to win the league championship. Well, we didn't do that. We came in 1st and won, which was great. We finished 5th in the sectional tournament. Only 4 teams advanced to district, but we did advance 2 players, however, and one of them is my breakfast companion that you see standing right there. Julia Goodson met and exceeded every expectation that we had for her. We played 8 9-hole matches, and she was medalist in all 8. And for those of you non-sports people, a medalist means that not only are you the best on your team, you're the best of anybody that played that day. We played in 9 tournaments, and she was in medalist 3 of those and runner-up in 2, and that's playing with the best girls in the state. She set a Hudson High School record of a 3-under par 33 at Fox Den, which I think will stand for a long time, and she has the best short game that I've seen in my 10 years of coaching. In her last tournaments, she shot 76, 75, 74, 74, 77. So you could imagine that she was not only our most valuable player, but the Suburban League Player of the Year. In addition to that, she was co-captain, helped me very much with that, and a very good instructor too. Whenever we had to come up with trouble shots, like punch shots, embedded sand shots, flop shots, I always said, Julia, can you demonstrate those? Because I knew she could do it better than I could. So that's all I have to say. I'd like to introduce Julia Goodson this morning, who is to be a Golden Flag.
Morning. As Coach Doug said, our team only had 2 experienced varsity players, and yet we still won our conference and went undefeated. We prepared for every match and tournament by going over hole-by-hole course strategy and practicing our weaknesses. We would have never achieved our goals without the help of Coach Doug. He would scout the course for pin placements and give us quick notes. This was exactly what our young and inexperienced team needed to be successful. Playing golf in high school has given me some of the best memories and has shaped me into the person I am today. Through golf, I have learned about commitment, leadership, integrity, and honesty. Commitment isn't just about attending every practice or putting in countless hours. It's about being dedicated to do your best for your team. Sometimes golf may not go the way you want it to, but you cannot give up because of a bad shot. I learned about leadership by being a senior co-captain and by helping my teammates with their short game and decision making. Leading a team isn't just about scoring the best. It's about having a positive attitude, inspiring others to do better, communicating with them, and having confidence in yourself and the team. Lastly, I learned about integrity and honesty through a somewhat painful experience in a tournament. After playing 3 holes, I realized I had an extra club in my bag, which would result in the 4-stroke penalty. I could have finished the round without anybody noticing, but I called the penalty on myself. My goal for the year was to always shoot in the 70s, and sadly, I ended with an 83. But I will never regret the decision I made. As for my future, I will continue to play at Kent State University. I am both excited and honored for the opportunity to play on a team ranked 7th in the nation. It will be a lot of hard work and a huge commitment, but I feel as though I am ready. As a Lady Explorer, I am proud of what I have learned, and I know it will carry me through college and life.
Rich Warfield was in that same situation with an extra club in a tournament at Lake Forest, and that club is still laying in the woods. We have field hockey, and one of our former outstanding athletes, assistant coach Louise Knox, and head coach Lori Wilkins.
Okay, well, Coach Wright and I were here last year speaking on the Positive Coaching Alliance. I would have never imagined that the very next year that we would be standing here as state runners-up. This team this year is truly unique and will be talked about for years to come. Our focus this year changed from the past 6 years that I've been a part of this program. We focused less on the name on the front of our opponents' jerseys and more on the effort that we were going to bring and carry through every single competition. As I told the girls over and over, that you can only control the controllables. We might not get every call that we want. We might not carry through on every play that we run. But you can control the effort and the grit that you bring in every game. So we ended up being 17-4, undefeated in our Northeast Ohio League, 12-0. Had 4 complete shutouts in tournament play. We won in overtime. We beat the defending state champions, and we beat Columbus Academy, who Hudson had not taken on since 1996. In the state semifinal game. This team broke many accomplishments, or broke many records that we thought we never could have made this year. We have not been to the state Final Four since 2001 and not been in the state final game since 1996. So the former coach once told me, have pride, show class, display character, and winning takes care of itself.
Our motto this year was T3, trust, teamwork, and toughness. I'm going to talk a little bit about the trust and the teamwork. This year we were not just teammates, we were a family on and off the field. I have been on many teams and play more than one sport, but I can honestly say that this team was special. I do not believe that we would be standing here as state runners-up without every single one of us. We truly were 22 deep. We didn't have a superstar. If we made mistakes, we flushed them and picked each other up. We trusted each other and took ownership of our own individual roles. Cassie, our goalie, had an unbelievable season with 8 shutouts in the league and unbelievable saves. Defense wins championships, but in order to advance, we had to find the back of the net. We understood that it was going to take everyone, starters and non-starters, to carry us through this unbelievable ride.
My name's Jordan Nenny, and I'm a senior on the field hockey team. And the third part of our motto was toughness, or as we say over and over, grit. This is what has let us down in the past when we play teams that are our biggest rivals, like Hathaway, Brown, and Shaker. We would always let them shut us down because we would get in our heads. And this year was totally different, and we knew we were going to make mistakes and we were going to have off days because that's the way life is. But there was always something that stayed the same, which was our level of effort. And we would always win every 50-50 ball, and we would know how to come back after being scored on. And we would always fight for 60 minutes, the whole game. And we were always excited for our big games, and we realized that the level of effort that we gave and our grit would always take us farther than we ever thought. This was an important piece to our success this year, and I'll always carry this grit with me throughout the rest of my life.
Hi, I'm Finn, and I'm a senior on the field hockey team. And this year, being a part of the team has honestly changed our lives for the better. And I've learned how fortunate we are to make memories and be a part of this sisterhood and compete every single day, and that there are so many less fortunate people fighting for their lives, and like we're just so fortunate. And once again this year, we've decided to raise money for Akron Children's Hospital through Scoring for a Charity fundraiser. And every game we won, our sponsors would donate $25. And we finished our season with a record of 17-4. So therefore, every sponsor donated the maximum of $350, giving us a grand total of $2,800. And I've also learned that it's really important to stay in the moment. And like so often in life, we look ahead, always focusing on what's coming next. But it's important to set goals and have dreams. But we can't wish away all those small moments. And this year, we not only took our season step by step, but we also took each game step by step. And we split the game up into 10 increments, and Coach would tell us when she was going to give us a timeout, and so we knew we were going to get a break. So we'd fight for those 10 minutes as hard as we could. And this made all of the impossible things possible. We beat the Columbus Academy, and we never even thought we even had that ability. And this made me realize that in life, the journey is the destination, and how important it is to slow down and enjoy it.
I think one of the things that I'm, again, most happy about with watching our coaches and student athletes is, again, the passion that they have, as was mentioned previously. But and I'm really happy that my grandson, Tyler Ginther, has Miss Wilkins in class. So he loves her. We have girls soccer, Coach Marcus Walker and Sarah Lahamadou.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us. Just give you a brief briefing on our season. This is my first year at Hudson. I actually got hired the final week of June, kind of out of the blue. Took over a program that was a very talented group of senior leaders. The first one is actually who I brought here. Tell you a little story about her to get us started. So I got hired the final week of June. Sarah texted me, hey, can we meet, just to fill you in where we're at. She brings me a 2-inch binder saying, hey, here's what we did last year. Here's every game. Here's where people played. Here's the scores. And all the contact information to bring me up to speed. At that point, I didn't have an assistant coach, didn't have a roster, so she really brought me up to speed with that. That just goes to speak to the leadership ability of the girls of the soccer program. I was blown away by this group of girls. They are dedicated athletes, students, and just people. They're very caring for one another as well as people in the community. Many of them are involved in service learning projects and whatnot. So first season, it was a very good first season for us. For me, we finished 2-2. Ended up winning the Suburban Conference, had the Player of the Year and several all-conference selections. Ended up having one all-state and all-region player. Ended up bowing out to eventual state champion in Walsh. The takeaway that I from the season was that final game. A lot of players went into the season saying, we're going to do all right in the season, and then we're going to lose to Walsh. And I had heard from other people, like, you know, they're the nemesis, which they are. But girls didn't have confidence. And one of the things that I really wanted to instill was, hey, you have to go out every day and do your best. If someone's better than you, they're better than you, right? You got to commend them for it. This year, the girls came out and were confident in themselves. We actually played the best half of soccer the first half. We were actually leading until the final minute of the first half, which I think Hudson's lost the last 4 years in the district final to Walsh, and the first time we've ever scored a goal against them. So the girls came out hungry and ready to compete, and they absolutely did that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Sarah Lamadou. She's our goalkeeper. She's a 4-year starter for us, team captain, and ultimate leader. And hopefully she'll tell a little bit about, you know, her future.
Hi, my name's Sarah Lamadou. I've been playing soccer at Hudson High School for 4 years now. A great part about playing soccer for the high school is that I've been playing soccer with 7 of the seniors this year. We've been playing soccer together for about 9 years. So over the course of the 9 years, we've grown up together and we've played together, and then we eventually played in high school. And before the season started, Marcus sat us down and he said, this is your senior year, you know, and he was an All-American. He played in college. He's better than he leads on. He's very good. And he sat us down and he talked to us and he said, you're going to remember things from the season that you never thought you would. So just take every moment for what it is and be careful what you remember, because you'll never know like what moments will stick out the most to you when you leave. So over the season, we had a lot of new players, and we came a long way. And in the last game, we lost to Walsh Jesuit. They beat us every year in the district finals and went on to win state championship every year. But the moment that I really took from that season, I started every game. I've played almost every minute of every game. And the last 10 minutes of that game in particular, I will always remember, because for the last 10 minutes, he took all of the seniors out, and we watched all the underclassmen and everybody, our sisters, our cousins. We watched them play their hearts out against one of the best teams in the state, and that was truly amazing for me to see, because we had been able to pass something on to them. And so I'm really grateful for everything that he's done for us this season and everything that Hudson High School soccer program has done for us. So thank you.
And without further ado, Coach Wright. I'm Ron Wright, and I have $1 for Ed Sogan because Heidelberg never beat Findlay when I was in school there. So here's my $1, Ed, to you, okay? Yeah, well, we were always a little better than you guys, so that's why, I guess. I got 4 gentlemen here that are captains on the football team this year and had a phenomenal year. And really, it goes like some of the other coaches. If we go back a year ago, we had 35 seniors graduate a year ago with a fantastic team that made it to the semifinals in Division I. And everybody said that that was the best Hudson team that has ever been, and a lot of accolades and a really good football team. Well, obviously these guys didn't understand that. And we go out this year and with 30 seniors and come back and play for the state semifinals in Division II and had a fantastic year. These gentlemen to my right are and Anthony and probably everybody in this room, I want to say thank you to, because it really does take a community to run athletics. In some way, you're probably all involved in athletics in this community. But these guys came out. We set some goals like we always do at the beginning of the year. Nobody would say, hey, Coach Wright, how good are you going to be, or what do you think? And I said, well, we're going to be a good football team. How good we are, I have no idea. We're starting a new league with the Suburban. We're back in the Suburban. And these guys came out and really showed their true colors and what they can do. We started off with a new quarterback and new line. We had a couple guys. David played offensive guard for us a year ago and played tackle for us this year. Joe Charpentier was our running back a year ago and had a great year. And then he can maybe tell you about, or maybe he's told you already, but Joe was one of the leading running backs in the conference this year and broke his leg at the Norgonia game. And really set us, we're talking about a guy that's probably one of the top premier rushers in Northeast Ohio. And so it was a real blow. Joey didn't play. Joey Palumbo didn't play a year ago because he tore his ACL in lacrosse his junior year and came back and had a phenomenal year this year and he was kind of the, if you can remember, Gordy Lockbaum, the guy that did everything. Joey kind of does everything, okay? And then Roman Marino on the end there. Rome was kind of our guy that we look forward to, we looked at. We knew after a year ago that he had some ability, and he sure did showcase it. He was All-State this year. David was third-team All-State. He was an All-State defensive end this year. He played both offense and defense and was an incredible asset to the football team. So proud of these young men, what they bring to the table and what football or athletics do for you. I truly believe that it's a microcosm of your daily life or your life, because in a game there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and you got to figure out, we have a term that we use and it's called FIDO, F-I-D-O, and it's forget it and drive on. Now, if anybody was in the service, there's probably another word that they use, but we won't say that here, okay? But it is forget it and drive on. And that's what you do. You forget the lows and you worry about what's coming up next and not what happened the play before. And we've really bought into that. Our players talk about that a lot. The other thing I think that Lori mentioned is, we don't worry so much about opponents. We worry about what we do. It's what Hudson does that makes us different. We look at other people, we decide what they're going to do, but we stick to the game plan and we stick to what we do best, and I think that's made a difference in our program. Along with having, exceptional players make for really good coaches and good golfers and good, soccer players and good field hockey players. When you have really good talented people and you have really good parents that care and show, it makes your life a lot easier. I'm very, very proud. I'm very, very proud of being the head coach of the football team in Hudson. I think that we've taken the football, you would never think, never would thought, and I think Ed could tell you this, is when people talk about Hudson football, it's not just in Northeast Ohio anymore. It's around the state. And if it's not around the state, it might be around the eastern half of the United States. Because when I go somewhere and I say I'm from Hudson, a lot of people know where Hudson is. And I don't mean that maybe just for football, but for other things. But a lot of people really know about this community and know what it does. And I can't be more proud of being, a part of this community. These guys can tell you a little bit more of what they're doing. They're all being recruited. They're all being looked at by other universities, and it's not only because of their athletic prowess, but because of their academics. All of them are excellent students that are going to go on. Of the 30 that we have, every single one of them are academically eligible and can go to any university, basically. I mean, maybe some of the Ivies wouldn't take us, but a lot of places are coming through our doors during the month of December and recruiting our student athletes because of not only being really good athletes, but outstanding students. So I'm going to let these guys go, and I think Roman's going to talk just a minute about some adversity that maybe we had faced, and they can tell you a little bit about what's going on in their lives. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. First off, I want to say thank you for just giving us the privilege to come here, eat breakfast with you guys, and talk a little bit. So yeah, Coach Wright kind of hit the nail on the head. Last year we graduated 35 seniors. We had a really successful season going to the state semifinals in Division I. And I think after that, like we kind of just did, we put it in the records books, Hudson's greatest football team ever, 2014. And I don't know, I believed it for a little bit. I'm not going to say that we're better than them, but I think we compared in a lot of ways. And yeah, we were special. I think we were a special team. And coming back, we had a new quarterback, a lot of new guys on the O-line, new guys on the defense. And we had to learn who we were as a team and what we could do. And we had to gain some confidence. So started in July, started practices, and we went just 3 weeks ago, starting in December. In the start of December, we lost our final game. And it was a long run. And I think it was that long because we had a motto, and it was to continue the legacy. So we made it so far last year. I wanted to, me and these guys, we came up with the motto that we were going to continue the legacy and push Hudson football, push the team to that place where Coach Wright was talking about, where we're not just known around Northeast Ohio, but we're known around the state. And we want to be a dominating force as far as the football game is concerned. And that was possible because of these guys next to me, the other 30 seniors on the football team, and the guys who bought into what we said, the guys who I'd really give anything for, the passion that we drove. And Donatelli, one of our football friends, one of our football players said earlier that if you want to be successful at something, you got to have a passion for it, and you got to want to be great at it. And that's what we did. We surrounded ourselves with success, and that's how we were successful. I just want to look at a point in our season where we didn't have like all this great enthusiasm about the game. It was our second week into the season. We came down short, 17-10, and we lost to Strongsville at home. Embarrassing, honestly, for me. It's tough to lose to an opponent, but lose to an opponent on your home field, yeah, that hurt me a little bit. We haven't lost there in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And it really made a lot of people say, like, oh, are we even going to make the playoffs? Are we going to be a good football team? And I guess I just had to block out that and overcome adversity. 2 weeks later, Charpentier, our great tailback, he broke his leg. And even more people were saying, you know, their season's done, it's totaled. And the next week, John Callahan, our middle linebacker, tore his ACL. So 2 out of the 5 captains are already hurt. I think a lot of people doubted us. I doubted us for a little bit, but just for a minute, I'll be honest. I was scared, but just seeing the confidence of the coaches, that they were willing to set us up for success in any game that we played, seeing the confidence of Dave and Joey, seeing that confidence gave me a drive that we needed to go to where we wanted to go. We needed to continue that legacy, and that's what brought us to week 14 in the postseason. That's what gave us the drive to continue on the legacy. I'd just like to say thank you for this community. You guys are a huge part in this community. Just hearing that you guys are giving thousands of dollars in scholarship opportunities to Hudson High School, that's making a difference. That's setting us up for success. My team and just this community, you guys are a big part of that, and we couldn't do it without your support. So thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk.
Hi, I'm Joe Charpentier. I talked to you guys about a month ago about me, but I just wanted to say something real quick. about the community and you guys. You all know our beautiful field house. Coach Wright calls it our home for half a year. But I just want to talk about a tradition that we have started in the old field house. Is if you go in there and you look at the showers, I wouldn't go in there, it's pretty gross. But on the walls, we have all the records, and then each team comes up with like a motto that when you see us run onto the field, we say. So this year ours was man the cannons. A few years ago it was trample the dead, hurl the weak. So it's all these like battling cries basically. And we have them all over the shower. So it looks really cool. And then at the new field house, I was just thinking, I think it's pretty symbolic because we've already filled up half the shower. We write all our numbers down and they're both state Final Four teams. And I think that's really cool. For the first 2 years in this field house, the first 2 teams are state Final Four teams, like the 2 best teams in school history. And I think that's really, like I said, symbolic of what the community has done together, how we've all kind of come together for this big goal. And I just want to say thank you because that's really awesome that we have so much backing us. But yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Thank you. I just wanted to tell you about our tradition.
Hi, I'm Dave. I didn't really prepare anything, but I just want to say thank you to the community. You guys are as much of a part of this team as the players and coaches, and I would say stay tuned to Hudson Explorers football. They have some good things coming, so thank you.
I don't know if these guys are, like I said, are all being recruited. They don't really have you guys, nobody has picked really a spot at this point, I don't think. So stay tuned and you'll see their pictures in the newspaper because of where they're going to end up going somewhere and continuing on with their athletic endeavors. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much to the coaches, the students, the athletes, the service learning students. Certainly, the community of Hudson has very much to be proud of. You are excellent representatives, both on the field and off, and I think we all recognize that. So let's give all of the students a round of applause. Next week's meeting will be recent Hudson Scholarship Program winners. So students that received scholarships from the Rotary Club will be coming back to fill us in on their first year. There will be no meeting on December 30th. Thanks to the greeters today, Matt LaFountain and Peter Goheen, the AV setup crews, Tom Page, Tom Tobin, Jeff Tong, James Field, John Hairston, Den Rich, and Ron Barnhouse, and Ellie Stiles from Hudson Service Learning, who helped as well. And now the Rotabuck. The payout today is $21. Nobody has won in a while. The jackpot is $1,007. So, Mr. Marino, would you pick the winning pick? Come on, buddy. Do it. The last four, 3855.
No.
Good luck, everyone.
3855.
It's a match.
Good luck.
Nope. Oh man.
There's your pay.